Hi, John Hess from Filmmaker, IQ.com. I decided to take a quick break at the beginning of 2021. I'm rebuilding my studio set. I wanted to get out away from everything, come out to the mountains, come out to the woods, and hang out in a cabin like this, and just chill for a couple of days. But while I was here, I decided I wanted to make a just one thing and share with you a lighting technique that I've developed over the years, but I've seen this everywhere. So it's not really my own idea. I just discovered after shooting hundreds and hundreds of talking head interviews that some shots look better than others. And this is a technique that makes the better shot. I call it shoot the fill side. This goes by a technical term, short lighting. Now, in order to talk about this, we need to revisit the concept of three-point lighting. If you're watching my channel, you probably have some inkling already of what three-point lighting is. So we'll just review it really quickly. Now, a lot of people make the mistake, I think, of teaching three-point lighting as three actual sources of light. I like to think of three-point lighting as three functions of light. The first light, the most important one, is the key light. And the key light is the dominant light. That's really what's driving the scene. In this case, I've got an aperture 300 dialed all the way down to 2%. I've got some gels on it to kind of soften it up. If I turn that light off, you can see now you can't see me at all. In fact, the focus is going crazy because the camera can't figure out where I am. If you're shooting a witness protection program, this is the lighting you want. That's the key light, right? The fill light is the light that fills in the shadows created by the key light. And here I actually don't have a fill light. I don't have a second light. I'm using the ambience of the room, the white walls that are around me that kind of bounce the light around to kind of act as the fill so that the shadows aren't completely inky black, right? The third light is the rim light or the back light, or sometimes called the hair light. And that's actually a practical light that's right behind me. That's kind of lighting my shoulders and it's lighting the scene behind me. So those are the 3 points, the 3 roles, the functions of light. We're going to focus on the key and the fill. And so this technique I call shoot the fill side means you want to put the camera on the opposite side of the key light. So when you're shooting a talking head documentary or even shooting a close-up in a narrative film, you're usually going to have your subject angled off the camera. Here my shoulders are angled off of the camera and I'm kind of looking in that direction, or at least my body is in that direction. Even when I'm facing the camera, my position is off in that direction. So I'm going to have the camera over here, so I'm pointing at you, and then the key light's going to be on the other side. So this is called short lighting, or I call it shoot the fill side. Now, if I move my shoulders and my seating position over here, now I'm looking this direction. Even if I point my face toward the camera, my body is still kind of oriented in that direction. The camera and the light are on the same side. The camera and the key light, that is, are on the same side of my body. This is called broad lighting. Now, this is a technique that was more popular in the 90s and the 2000s. I think because cameras were, not as powerful back in those days, so you wanted to feed them a lot of light, so shooting broad lighting gave you a lot more detail in the face. But now that cameras have gotten a lot better, you're going to see a lot more short lighting where the fill side is facing the camera. So this idea of shooting the fill side also applies when you're shooting outdoors. A lot of people think that you can't control the lighting when you're outside, but you can control it as far as your camera placement and your subject placement. Right now, I have the sun right directly in front of me. In fact, it's hiding behind a shadow. It's starting to go up behind a shadow right now. I mean, the shot is nice. You see my face clearly. But to me, if you want a more dramatic shot, you want to put that sun off to the side. And now we get a little bit of the fill and the sun. And to me, this is just a little bit more of a dramatic shot. I found that every time I walk on a set, when I'm trying to figure out the lighting situation, I always reach for short lighting. That's the first thing I go. So it's become like a rule for me. Now, is this a rule that you absolutely must follow? That if you don't follow it, you are doing something wrong and you should feel bad? Of course it is. You must listen to me. Every single utterance I make, you must follow it precisely to the T. Of course not, right? I'm joking. This is artistic, but it is something that I always start with. I always start with the short lighting, and then I can change things up as I need to, practically or artistically. Now that I've mentioned short lighting to you, I'm sure if you watch any documentary, let's say the HBO documentaries are fantastic, check them out. But every single one of their lighting setups is short lighting. Every single one. If you watch even used in narrative filmmaking in close-ups, Blade Runner 2049, of course, is going to have tons and tons of short lighting. I was just watching The Queen's Gambit, and you see the hero, actually Anya Taylor-Joy, and she is a real joy. She's lit with short lighting, but when they cut to a minor character, he's in broad lighting. I think this works psychologically because when you're looking at a hero or you're looking up at somebody, you're looking into the light, and that usually will result in short lighting. Now, of course, this is not really the only way to read the scene. There's other ways you can look at it, but I think that's a powerful use of this kind of lighting. So there you have it. Always start with short lighting, with shooting the fill side, and then you can veer from that artistically or practically. But I think it's a good place to start when you're thinking about how to light a scene. So like and smash that subscribe button, leave a comment, do whatever YouTube wants you to do. Share this video around, please, it helps us out. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. I've been posting a lot of behind the scenes building of my set there. If you want to check that out, become a patron on Patreon. Every little bit helps. And of course, check out our merch store in the shelf below. Get yourself that 24 FPS shirt. So all that's left for me to say is to go out there and do some short lighting, shoot that fill side, and go make something great. I'm John Hess. I'll see you at filmmakeriq.com.